Welcome back to another episode of Kitchen Vibes. I'm your chef, Chef Eric Marshall, your favorite chef. So today I have a treat for you. It's one of my favorites that I want to make today is I'm going to make a steak, potatoes, and spinach. So the most important part of all this is getting your steak at that temperature. So you want your steak to be room temperature by the time you cook it so it can cook evenly. And also, you can see the steak here. You want to make sure that it's pat dry. There's a little moisture in there still. I'm going to pat it dry because you want a nice here. Some people think it's kind of difficult to make steak, but it's really simple for the most part because a good steak, you just put it in the pan and you let it sit. Do not bother it. But I will take you through these techniques. I had to learn the hard way myself. I used to be in there flipping it, doing everything, but if you just let it cook and just marinate and just do what it do in its own juices and let it cook through, then you will have a perfect cake, perfect steak actually. And I'm the type of person I love mine to be between medium rare and medium. I grew up on well done because that's what my parents taught me. But over the time, I had to get it to how I like it. So with the potatoes, we're doing baby potatoes as well. So this is going to be one of the first things that we make because it takes the longest. So when you're making a meal, you have to like manage your time properly. Potatoes take the longest, steak, and we're going to have our spinach. And we all know the thing about spinach. Make sure you put enough in there because you could put a whole bag and it look like you have 3 leaves of spinach. That's not what we want. So I got a nice amount of spinach, which I'm going to cook with my red onions and red peppers and green peppers. But for our potatoes, I like to poke holes in my potatoes because it gets everything, just all the juices flowing in there. Just get a fork like this. Just poke your holes in your potatoes. I don't have a lot because it's a small, short show, but we want to get all the flavor to get into our potatoes. Just gonna get our fork, just poke these holes. And I actually do a little something extra with my potatoes, just to make sure I get a beautiful flavor going throughout. As you can see, I have the water boiling over here. And to add a little more flavor, you can use what kind of bouillon or whatever you want to add a flavor, but I'm doing a chicken. I have steak. I just want to mix up the flavors just a little bit. So what I do is my water's boiling here. Get a little bit of this. And I didn't add salt to it because this already has a nice amount of salt in there. So, and yes, if you make potatoes, get your water boiling, and we want a nice rolling boil. That, my friend, is perfect. You can see it boiling. What we're gonna do is go ahead and drop your potatoes in the water. We got that going. And this is how you manage your time. Get the potatoes going first because we want everything to almost be done at the same time. So this is gonna take roughly 10 minutes. Got it on high. We're gonna make sure this gets a nice boil to it. Now we're gonna move on to our steak. This is the most important part to me. Making sure it's dry. That looks perfect to me. And what we want to do, a lot of people, and it depends on how you make your steak. If you're doing it on the grill, I would season it all up and just throw it on the grill to cook. But we're going to pan sear it in our cast iron pan. And we all know about this cast iron. It helps seal the flavor and get that nice crust on there. But for when I cook my steaks, I prefer just salt because if you put your pepper on there or any other seasoning on there, it will actually burn in the pan. So I flavor it with just salt first. Nice little generous amount, both sides. Also put some on the cutting board a little bit too, like so, and just roll the sides because you want flavor to be all over your steak. So you're just rolling it through this cutting board. And anything else that I can pick up to add that flavor, boom. So I had my steak sitting out for about 2 hours because we want it, like I said before, we want it at room temperature as much as possible so we can get an even, thorough cook. You see me still trying to get all the salt up because I want all the flavor in there. Boom. What I'm going to do here is just throw a little bit of oil in the pan. We're not going to drown it, but we just want just to coat it a nice amount. See, it's not too much. We got the nice little coating in there. Let's sit this down here and get the temperature of this heat up. And like I said, it is not a hard task whatsoever to make this steak. We want to get this going. The potatoes are still going. I just want to test, see where our pan is at. So I actually just grab a piece of the meat, little, and here a little sear. I heard it. I want a little bit more, but we don't want it too scorching high. So we're going to do between a medium and high. That should do it. I just like the pan to be perfectly coated. So I do move the pan around and I use gas because gas is one of my favorite to use. I used to use electricity, but it's nothing like getting that fire just burning to get your steak ready. So this is ready now. So we're getting our steak. I'm gonna lay it down away from us. Oh, look at that. You see this here? I do press it a little bit to get all that surface. Our steak is in. Glove is off. We do not touch it whatsoever. Make sure you have the right temperature around medium. Just let that sit for like 5 minutes or so, depending on how you like it. Mine's gonna do 5 minutes this side. Then I'm gonna flip it over. Then I'm gonna add a little more flavor to it. What you can see here, what I'll be using is some butter and a little bit of thyme and some garlic. Because I think that the garlic and the thyme enhances the flavor of the meat, of your steak, to get that nice flavor profile. I can go ahead and take the husk off. All you saw me do was do one little boom, it comes off. I like to open it up a little because when I'm basting it, I want all the flavor to come through. So a little about me. I used to work in this French restaurant in Richmond, Virginia, and I was on grill. That means I had to do all the steaks, chicken, grilled asparagus. But when I was there's so many steaks that I actually messed up. I would go in there, I had my skills already, but that's why I go back to restaurants every once in a while because I want to hone in my skills and learn more about cooking and the process of it. But I had a chef in there put the steak in the pan, thinking I'm doing good, take it out, give it to him because it's called a pass that you put it through because you're passing the food. He would look at the steak and be like, "Would you eat this?" I was like, "Absolutely." He's like, "Is this medium, medium rare? What is it?" I was like, "It said medium." Cut it open. It's too well done. And he was like, "Make another, make another." I did it too many times. He's like, "The next one coming out to check." Because it costs to deliver the food. That's why people really need to know what they want or how to hone in on their skills. Sometimes you can just put a thermometer in there as well to get the steak to the temperature that you really want it at. And make sure you don't overcook it. So wherever you want it, cook it a little bit less. And then when it's done, or it's almost to the temperature you want, you take it out and you let it rest. Because when you let it rest, you're cooking a little bit more. So what I want to do now, actually, checking the potatoes. I just like to go back every once in a while because these are really, really small potatoes. I'll go in, just squeeze a little bit and see how it goes through. It's still a little tough, so we're going to let it wait just a little bit longer. And I actually think my steak is doing pretty good over here because if you can see where it's coming up more right here. That means it's cooking through this part. So I actually think it's a good time to flip my steak. Look at this. We got a nice little bark right here already, a nice crust. And this is what we look for when we're doing this. We want a nice crust on it because you don't want the steak looking pale. But this is actually doing pretty good. Now touch it, it's soft, but it's firming up more. When it's firming up a little bit more, that means it's definitely getting that cook that you want on there. Oh, this is actually a little more beautiful than I thought it was going to be. And I love beautiful things. All right, we're going to let that cook some. And actually, usually at this point is when I start throwing in my other seasonings to get the flavor through. And what we're going to do is it's called basting. So I have my garlic, like I said. I'm going to toss that in right now. And I have my thyme. I usually use like a really fresh thyme, but you can use this. I'm trying to use what we have in our kitchen already, but I do prefer it to be a little fresh. And butter. And this is what's going to help fill in more of the flavor. I'm turning it down more. So I'm pushing my steak up so to get like a minimal cooking now. Most of the cooking I want to come from the fat of the butter. You see that it's getting in there, getting all the flavors. Now you just take this butter that's in here, and we call it basting. Just get it all over the steak. Look at this. What we're putting on there is nothing but flavor. You know what? Let's not play around. We just get all the butter in. We're not here to play games. We're here to vibe and get some delicious food. Look at this. When you push in here, it has definitely firmed up more. Probably almost how I like it. Getting all the flavors right here. I'm gonna turn this down real low because now I want it to cook everywhere. Oh, that means you're definitely burning up something. Watch my steak for me. I'll be right back. We all go do this. Ah, there we go. Oh, yeah. Now, you can't tell me you have never had that happen because we want the smoky, but we got to make sure it's well ventilated so we're not messing up stuff too much. All right, I'm back. You know how long it takes. You get your little rag, then you wave it at your smoke detector. Hey, this is real. This is the real vibe here. All right, I think this is actually perfect. Beautiful. What I want to do now, take it out the pan. I'm just gonna let it rest. So it's gonna finish cooking on the inside, and all the juice is just gonna form. This is what's gonna make it nice and juicy when you bite into it. It's not gonna be tough. It shouldn't be tough, but this is what keeping all the juices in, all the sear that's around there. You can see juice kind of dripping from the sides. This is beautiful. I think this is actually perfect. It's more towards a medium, but since we have this going, we have a little flavor in here already. I'm just gonna take out my garlic. What I'm gonna do now is add our spinach. Oh, and this is spinach, so we all know that it cooks rather quickly. But what I'm gonna do with the spinach, I'm adding my red onions. So you're still using the flavor of the steak that's in here. Get that cooked up because we want to depth the flavor with our spinach. We already know. Let me check these potatoes real quick. Oh yeah. So we got this in there. And I had some. I made something the other day. So I have leftover red peppers and green peppers. We're in the kitchen. We're at home, so we can use whatever we have leftover time. Put that in there. Spinach. We know spinach does not take long at all to cook. And these have been washed and rinsed. I pick up every piece because I don't want to lose it. That in there. As you see, I grabbed my bowl. It's the same bowl I had, but I put a napkin at the bottom, and this is going to absorb some of the juices because whenever we cook our spinach, a lot of the moisture comes out, and you don't want your plate just to be dripping with these juice. So, one of my favorite seasonings that I love to use is called a roasted garlic and herb. It's I'm going to be making my own. This adds another depth of flavor to it. Put that in there. Of course, always got to put some slapping. And just get that moving. I'm going to move around in the pan. The spinach, the red onion, and the red pepper and green pepper. Just give this a nice little toss. I don't want mine to be too wilted, so it's not going to be in here for a long time. And this is actually about perfect right here. What I do is put it right back. Y'all saw how this was full. You know what spinach does. It just dwindles down. There we go. Get that in here. Oh, that's good. You should always taste your food before it goes out. And our potatoes are done. What we're gonna do here is like a smashed potato. And it's just like it sounds, taking them out the water, and we're gonna smash it and season it. Part of the seasoning is already in there because of chicken stock that we put in. Our potatoes are here. Got my plate because it's time to plate. Let me show you a good trick. Potatoes, to smash them, just get a glass. Any glass, anything that can just push it down. Just like it sounds, smashing it. See that? It's very simple to push down because these are indeed cooked throughout. I think that is actually enough. And these are just all home things we're using here. Put that here. Get our slapping. Put that on there. Just season it nice and generously. And I also love to put some more garlic on there. Do both sides. Yes. Flip it over. Do the other side. Everyone likes a nice, quick meal. And this one take no longer than 30 minutes. Perfect. Now let's get the plating. One of my favorite parts. Let's get your smashed potatoes. Like almost everything, I like to create a nice bed for the main dish. So everybody loves a nice steak and potatoes. That's what we're doing here. We're getting our greens. Let's put that to the side. Like so. I like to see the little pops of red and everything coming through. I like color on my plate. It's a beautiful thing. Look at this. You see all this juice. That's all goodness that we have here. I'm going to cut the steak up. Bring you a little closer. Yes. There we go. That looks beautiful. Look at that. You can see right here that beautiful color. So yes. All right. Spread that down like so. Give it a little depth. Pick it up. Right on top of the potatoes. Look at that. This is a beautiful meal. I like to leave a little negative space in there. You can just fill that with seasoning in someone's side. That's a little bit more of the slapping. Adds a little more depth of the flavor. Is what we want. Of course, it's time to eat. We need to get this piece. It looks beautiful. It's so good. This is something that you can cook almost every day. Spinach cooked to perfection. Potatoes, I love potatoes. So we had the chicken stock. Then we put the slapping and the roasted garlic. Look, thanks everybody for tuning in today. Make sure you stay tuned for each and every episode. I'm Chef Eric Marshall. Appreciate you for vibing with me because this is Kitchen Vibes. Thank you. Oh my God.
Get up and get going with V Plus Energy. Challenge yourself and your friends to get up every day and get going. Grab your favorite V Plus flavor and tackle the day. Get excited and get energized with V Plus. It's made with 100% real fruits and veggies. There's no way you could crash, unlike other traditional energy drinks that you don't know what the hell is in there. Chemicals and other unpronounceable ingredients that you wouldn't give to your mama. Get V Plus. Healthy energy with none of the sacrifice. Get going at drinkvplus.com.
Today we're taking a little vacation on the west end of St. Croix, visiting a seaside restaurant called the Beachside Cafe here at Sandcastles on the Beach.
The atmosphere is just wonderful.
You just feel very welcome when you're here.
Hi!
I'd like to introduce Chris and Ted, who are the owners of Beachside Cafe and also Sandcastles on the Beach. This is amazing!
Thank you.
Sandcastle on the Beach is quiet and friendly, relaxing.
I often entertain guests, and this is the one place I always try to bring people.
Tell us a little bit about the hotel.
Well, the hotel is a 25-room hotel. We have 10 different room types within that. We also have, of course, our greatest asset, the ocean out there, which our side of the island is very calm typically. So it's the best swimming beach and also great for snorkeling.
And just walking, doing a nice walking beach tour.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best beach access is right here, so we love them.
And we're also fortunate we have just up the way Sandy Point National Park, and then Frederickstead Town is just a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're really fortunate to be in this perfect spot.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dancehall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. It's the latest in Caribbean news. Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. It's the latest in Caribbean news. Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo.